Welcome to another 100 Days Humans Only video, written and directed by me, Glahm.
Wow.
You might be asking yourself, what's the point of this video? What's the overarching goal? What is the end game for such a challenge? I have no idea. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. That's the whole point of these 100 Days videos. Do I always need to have a goal? What if I just want to chill, huh? It's a brand new day and a fresh start with some new updates, and I'm looking forward to what there is to see. This isn't sarcasm, by the way. Despite the tone of my voice, I'm quite elated to see what we're getting ourselves into. And since I'm really bad at segues, here's me attempting to raid a castle while being severely underleveled. Let's see what happens. With patience as thin as my hairline, I charged in and paid the ultimate price right away, because I'm not even 6 minutes into this video recording and I already got smeared into pace. You would be forgiven thinking I'm good at Palworld. Well, the truth is, I'm not. I only have about 300 or so hours of playtime in this game, and most of that playtime was me making these videos and suffering greatly for it. At this point in the playthrough, day 1, I was already frustrated with the day and decided just to chill at my village for a moment, and took great solace in the fact that the humans are actually useful now. Useful being used with the loosest of terms, because to put it quite bluntly, humans are not very good at anything. They struggle to complete the most basic of tasks, and if left alone for too long, they end up breaking bones somehow and they become sick, and it's just very frustrating to deal with. I won't spoil anything for later on in the video, but you will just have to see for yourself. And here's this bug, I guess. I don't exactly remember what this bug was, but it was significant enough for me to write down, so feast your eyes, I suppose. Midnight struck. Henshi and I were slowly making our way up the castle from yesterday. With persistence that is borderline obsessive, we managed to weed out the first floor of Ninja. By chance, I managed to find a hidden chest. I have no idea, this is Palworld, but hey, I won't complain. Free loot is free loot, and it's always nice. Further inside the castle, I interrupted some important business. I tried to be polite and fired off many apologies, but he wasn't having it. So I did what I had to do. In a frantic panic, I ran into one of the main rooms, and guess what? It was full of, yeah, that's right, more ninja. Akira, one of the Moonflower Jonin that I caught in my last video, he has a focus on AoE based attacks from Pal skill fruits. In this instance, it was Sand Twister. My thought process at the time was to just throw him in the middle of the room and let him go to work, and I would reap all the benefits, of course. The Sand Twister actually spawned up on the top floor of the castle, and it was in this moment, all I managed to do was kick the hornet's nest, and you can probably imagine what comes next. I died more times than I care to admit trying to overtake this castle, so we're just gonna slide right into day 3. And yep, on the start of day 3, I died the most cheapest of ways. I got shot with a stun bolt and then cut down. Kinda lame, not gonna lie. Fair fight, etc, etc. Get good, I guess. I just remember at the time of writing this, I was extremely upset. You could probably tell. Save me from the AI in this game, anybody please. I really have no words. What can I say at this point? I'm only 3 days in and I've died like 6 or 7 times. Do I stick around and clear the castle for sunk cost fallacy? Yes, I am just that stubborn. Just when I had cleared the castle and looted the final chest, more ninja. And to top it all off, I was in a completely different room and still died. You can probably see the frustrated little camera wiggles I did. I am very glad that this is not a hardcore run, because I would lose my mind at this point. I actually kind of can recall from reading the notes just how horrible this was for me. You all better enjoy this video. Now let me ask you, what would you do in this scenario? Would you turn around and leave, having looted the big chest, take what you can, and call it a day? Or do you double down and bet it all, baby? Would you go out in a blaze of glory? If you answered blaze of glory, you're crazy. I'm not about to do all of that. And after a 3-day long battle, the castle was mine. But at what cost? My sanity? Why do I feel so hollow? Oh well, day 4. I had something called a kinship peach, and the description says that the pal will open its heart to humans, but what if I feed it to a human? Let's find out. Oh, it raised its trust to 3. That's pretty good, I think. I don't know what trust is quite yet. Also, to make a note of it, with my pendant of diligence, I now have over 2,000 work speed. That's kind of bonkers, to be honest. From my previous 100 days, I have a good stack of Ultra Spheres, and there's a particular human that I would like to add to my team. Yes, I was thinking about Zoe. Why would I do her quest and go through all of that nonsense when I can just Hail Mary a Palsphere until I catch her? I managed to catch Zoe, and I tried to catch some of the PIDF enforcers, and that didn't work. I died before I could return to the title screen, so that's embarrassing. But hey, my mission was successful. While I was here, I decided I would try to catch the dog coin merchant too, and after wasting a few spheres, I did eventually catch him. I always wanted a golden boy at base, and here we are. He's like my giant golden trophy. Look at him go. The metal merchant is actually quite useful because he has transporting, and you know what that means. No more stray wood laying around the base, I hope. I need to get more humans, specifically Brotherhood of the Pyre, because they can smelt metal. That was the biggest hang up in my last 100 Days Humans video, is having to go farm Bushi for metal, but now that humans can smelt it, shouldn't be a problem. Right? And here we go, let's do an awkward Star Wars transition, why not? Yeah, I caught a few Brotherhood of the Pyre. Even at my level, and with how much hit points I have, it's still quite a bit hectic. Eventually, I caught all the Brotherhood of the Pyre I would need, and one of them actually had a swimmer. That's a fun little trait to have, I guess. I don't know, I thought it was pretty cheeky in the moment I wrote it down. And when I was done with all that, I just thunderclouded my way home and called it a day. The start of day 6, I unlocked the ore mining site, and right away I unlocked the second version of it, which is way better. I need a lot of metal to make the upgraded ore site, so I got to work. To triple my productions, I made 3 forges, and in no time I hope to have enough ingots. But hey, once again, this is Palworld, and anything that can go wrong probably will go wrong. As I was setting up the metal to be smelted, I was raided once again by wild pals, and I forgot that a human I caught in my last video, her name was Lisa. Lisa had the detonate ability for some reason, and it was equipped. I'm down an employee in my workforce, unfortunately. And with the end of day 6, I was able to upgrade my base at least once. And this would allow me a lot more humans to work with. If you've played Palworld before, you know what this does. I don't gotta explain it to you. If you've seen my video, alright, we're just going to move on to day 7. And I decided to do a bit of base remodeling. Eventually, I wanted to have matching Japanese-style buildings to kind of match the rest of the aesthetic around Sakurajima. For now, that would have to wait. The ore site too required my utmost attention, and I got it built. And honestly, I got a little bit distracted tearing stuff down and moving, so not a lot happened today after that. But to finish off day 7, I unlocked the Japanese structure set, and tomorrow, first thing, I would build something cool. The morning of day 8, a supply drop fell from the sky, and my new Japanese-style castle would have to wait. Honestly, the drop was okay, I guess. I don't know exactly what was in it. I just wrote down it was okay. And then after that, I went back to base and started tearing down more structures. I was completely invested in this now, and I would focus. After the entire day of building and finagling with Palworld's build engine, this is what I got so far. It's a work in progress, but hey, I'm pleased. I'm doing this for me. This is for me. Well, this is all I have done, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like I did much. Take it as you will, but this wall is important. I had a bunch of wild pals come in here and just wreck stuff in my last video, and in this video I just cut it all out. It's just frustrating. This wall is very important. So, day 10, a dilemma I've run into with my wall is that I can't quite get the snap to work correctly on the wooden gate, and I'm at a loss. I can, of course, snap a foundation to the gate, but that leaves a large gap. And if I try to eyeball this, it will be lopsided. This is the kind of stuff that makes me weep internally. I eventually did get this figured out, and I had to painstakingly eyeball it, and it might be a bit lopsided, but you can't really tell though, so it's good enough for me. And after all that, I took a moment to gaze upon my work and took some pride and really soaked it all in. Now that I have my wall set up, I needed to organize a lot more. The base was in disarray from my last playthrough, and I had a bad habit of just throwing stuff everywhere in chests and never thinking about it again. And since I played a lot more Palworld in that time since my last 100 Days Humans video, I do appreciate being a lot more efficient and organized. So the next goal is to get my crops sorted out and set up a streamlined workstation and make it so my residents have actual decent beds to sleep in, but all of that in due time. First, I needed to rebuild my tomato plantations and my lettuce plantations. While I was doing that, I actually ran out of PAL fluids, so I guess at this time, I'll take a break from building for a moment and go bother the gobfins. I don't feel bad about it either, they're kinda moody. So, with Zoe and Tenchi in tow, I farmed gobfins for the rest of day 11. In that time, I farmed up to 78 PAL fluids, but I wanted more. I need 100 for vanity reasons. While in the area, I caught this arrogant PAL critic. That's what he gets for being a jerk. And after a full day of farming, I got the last of my lettuce plantations built, and our main food source was now finished. Today was mostly spent upgrading my PAL box to progress in levels. I needed to build a PAL research facility, and what this does is very important. It allows you to improve your PAL's work efficiencies like kindling and so forth. I actually want to use this in this playthrough, so I'll be doing research in the background. Don't worry about it too much. Certain humans can plant, water, smelt metals. It's just so nice to be able to just focus my efforts on other things for now. A side goal I'd like to achieve is just to see how far I can get in this village in 100 days. And of course, to beat the last 2 tower bosses. Beating Victor and Shadowbeak seemed like an impossible task, and I managed to do it. This seems very plausible now, given all my resources. A slight issue I've run into is I don't have any humans that could actually harvest crops, but I do know the Free Pal Alliance devouts can from my 100 Days Water Pals Only video. So today, I will go out and catch some. They tend to be really annoying to deal with, especially with their stun crossbows, but I think I can manage. And on a side note, I have no idea how this guy got stuck up here, but he's coming with me. When I got back to base, it was time. Time to say goodbye to the old house that gave me comfort and shelter for 114 days. I wanted to have my villagers sleep safely inside of a building, and I wanted to upgrade it, as well as move my workstations inside. It was time to get to work. For inspiration, I looked to my neighbors and went to a castle. I also wanted levels and loot. I needed to unlock the Japanese-style hot springs at some point, and standing around building all day wasn't going to get me there anytime soon. But, of course, once again, this is Palworld, and my elite team of ninja would rather just stand around and watch me die. What did I expect? I honestly think they do this on purpose. I'm really glad there's not a death penalty timer in this game. I would be completely cooked. After my arguably successful raid on that castle next door, or small settlement, I have concluded that some of the building structures are impossible for me to do. But I will do my best. Now, it's time to upgrade the main building. On day 17, my upgrades continued. Yes, well into day 18. I'm having a lot of fun building. Can you blame me? This is relaxing. This is therapy for me. And the same thing happened on day 19. On day 20, I spent the day adding decorations, and this is what I have so far. I imagine watching me build for an entire week straight isn't the most exciting of things to do, so we'll go out and explore and see what we can find. There's a specific doctor I hope to meet. You know who it is. I was going to say leave a comment. No, that's not me.
If you like the video, please leave a like and leave a comment. It helps me out the YouTube algorithm.
Day 21, I fired up my furnaces and said my goodbyes and went out into the world to explore and find more willing people to join my village. I actually found my way over to a PAL research facility, and I'm going inside. After breaking down a door, I caught a PAL research executioner, and I plan on catching a few more just in case they had abilities I needed. I've never caught one before, so we'll see what the surprise is. And from the chest inside the facility, I managed to get another kinship fruit that I fed to Tenchi, and I managed to get a Gatling laser blueprint as well. Pretty useful, I'd say, and I'd actually like to build one if I can, but we'll see. And honestly, the PAL genetics research guys didn't really have anything too remarkable going on with them. They have the cooling effect, and I guess I can put that to use for later with the freezer-powered grinder. On day 22, I unlocked the ability to make a medicine rack. Humans are very prone to getting sick and injured, and honestly, I don't want to have an ongoing battle later on in the video with this, so I'm just building this rack to get this done now. And I will craft some rudimentary medicines to keep stocked. Right at the start of day 23, I unlocked the human power generator, and the title should be pretty self-explanatory. I might need some electric organs to make a few of these things, so today would be a day of me running around farming electric pals. I had some electric organs actually laying around at base, so I was able to make at least 2 of these for now, but I would need a little more. So off into the world I went to farm electric organs for real this time. And I spent the day in the bamboo thickets farming all the univolt I could find, which was only 4. I guess they got the memo that I was on the hunt, and they all decided to hide from me. What else is new? Everyone hides from me. So I went out and fought the next best thing, the beacon boss. With its defeat, the sun began to close its tired eyes, and I went home for the night to work on my crops and build more generators. I noticed that my walls were breaking in odd spots, and that's because the structure decay in my world, which means over time my buildings would need constant maintenance and eventually just collapse, and I ain't got time for that. So I changed the settings to make sure it wouldn't happen. To help with repairs, I did make repair kits. And there was a predator pal in the area, and I already knew what it was, a very powerful splatterina. I want to test my team of elite shinobi and Zoe against it to see how we'd fare. And unfortunately, one of our number did fall in combat with the beast. But of course, Tenchi locked in, and we secured a W, albeit a scuffed W, but a W nonetheless, and I got 12 predator cores from this thing. I had a lot of smelting coming up, so I began researching a kindling ability upgrade. I had a feeling it was going to be slow going, so any boost is quite welcome. I wanted to upgrade my PAL box even further, and it required me to build a sphere assembly line and a power generator, and of course the sphere assembly line was larger than my poor crafting room. Oh well. I wanted to also make upgraded refining forges, and I could only craft one at this time. Stone and cement seemed to be my biggest hang-up right now, so off I went to farm some up, and while running around looking for stone, I found a restless wanderer. You all know what comes next. Never mind, the PIDF and their ultimate wisdom killed him. Thanks, that's great. And after wasting quite a bit of PAL spheres after a relog, I actually managed to capture this fellow. And he has a very, very suspicious trait that I'm not going to read out loud, but I will zoom in on so you can read it at home, and please have a laugh, I guess. I needed to make some cement for a few refined forges, so I went ahead and unlocked them in the tech tree. I also needed a lot more stone, so I went out and farmed some, and Tenchi managed to delete the saline in seconds flat, which is still just really crazy to me how strong he is. Anyway, I got the stone pit built, and took a moment to farm some up as well. I was looking at more tech stuff to unlock, and I noticed that I could make an alpha wave generator, and it would hopefully slow down the sanity drain of my workers, because my entire settlement is on the verge of a mental breakdown, and I'm in the middle of it. Hopefully, I can get this thing built very soon. As things began to ramp up, I needed coal to make some refined ingots. I didn't have any coal on hand, so off I went to farm some in the world. I know they spawn somewhere on Sakurijima. It's just a matter of finding it. I eventually did find a coal node, and after farming the coal I needed, I made the coal pit. I needed quite a lot of refined ingots for later. My day wasn't done though. I needed yet more electrical organs. So I set my humans to farm stone, metal, and coal for the day, and I sped off to the bamboo thicket to farm univolts. While running around in the bamboo thicket, this Masanda made the unfortunate decision to fight me. Tenchi was there to help too, I guess. And that was pretty much the entire day, just running around farming electric organs. And to finish off the day, I did a lap around the forest, taking out any univolt I came across, and of course to fight the beacon boss as well. Then, I headed home to empty my inventory. I built a power generator. I would never use this thing, but it was what my PAL box wanted at the moment, and the PAL box is the only thing on the planet that still loves me at this point, so I do as it commands. I'm very aware it's a toxic relationship, but the PAL box never questions me. As I was tending to my base, a supply drop fell from the sky, and I dropped everything I was doing in the moment to go get it apparently. Inside, it had an applied mining technique manual, and this increases a PAL's mining affinity by 1. By PAL, I mean human in this instance. I haven't accidentally caught any PALs yet this run. Hopefully, it stays that way. And hey, guess what? We're running low on food again. And since all of my current workers are mining, I just spent the rest of the day lending out a helping hand and tending to the crops. Yep, day 29 was just spent building. That's it. It's literally all that happened. Sometimes I get complaints that I like to pad my script and that it's too long. Sometimes the videos are too short. I don't know what you all want, but this is literally all that happened. Wow, we're already 1 month into this, and I have almost no progress to show. But some progress is better than no progress, I guess, right? I really didn't do much today either, though. It was mostly just building my base. It's a perpetual work in progress, but I did sell a lot of the trophies I had accumulated, and gathered up all of my gold, and I bought a lot of wool to make cloth. I wanted to give my villagers some nice gifts, in the form of very comfortable beds to sleep in, instead of piles of straw and pine needles on the ground. Yeah, seems kind of cruel to make them sleep on that, so this is what I'm doing. After fixing and breaking and fixing again, I had managed to get enough of the higher quality pal bits crafted. Hopefully this will slow down some of the sanity drain for now. This is quickly turning into a balancing act of keeping my villagers happy and actually playing the game as I intended. I still have about 20 days before I fight Saya and Celine. I'm sure I have time to get my preparations complete. Right? Anyway, this right here was the reason for my base expansion. I built 2 more high quality hot springs. I'm still a few levels away from the Japanese style hot springs, or I would have built those instead. It's getting to the point where my entire workforce is just passing out on the ground and refusing to do much of anything else. I noticed that a lot of meteors were piling up around the island, so I took some time to clear them out. I got a bunch of comments mentioning the meteors on the ground affect their spawn rates and supply drops, and still to this day I don't know if that's actually true or not. I was always taught not to trust everything I read on the internet, but you guys would never lie to me, right? Right? After clearing out all of the fallen meteors, I circled back to a supply drop and the loot was okay. The gathering book was probably the best part out of it, honestly. And after much toil, I was eventually finally catching up on my food crisis, and I was slowly making refined metal ingots in the background. It's a slow climb to power this time around, but I don't really mind it. I'm actually enjoying the challenges that are being presented to me. I almost feel alive again. Is this a cry for help, or has YouTube sucked all the joy out of my body? We'll never know. What a jokester I am. As I was working on base things, I was raided by a herd of wild pals, and I beat them with the help of my boy Tenchi. You know, I'm sorry things in this video might seem slow, but I'm just enjoying taking my time and doing base related things. There's no real need to sweat too much. It's nice to just chill. I added a bit more onto my castle because, let's face it, that's what this is at this point. I wanted a dedicated crafting hall. I wanted to treat myself this time around. I usually just throw my crafting stations wherever I feel like in these videos, but it would be nice to actually be tidy and neat and organized for once. You know, take some pride in my work. I did get a bit carried away building on the main base. I won't apologize, actually. I'm having so much fun building and all of my villagers are finally happy, so why not? I get to enjoy things too. Normally, sometimes playing Palworld becomes a slog. This time around, I'm having a great time. When I eventually pried myself from building, I built a productions assembly line finally. Hey, at least it got done. Yep, that's all that happened on day 36 as well. I needed a quartz mine now, and to do that, I needed to leave the safety and comfort of my base. I needed to go to the Astral Mountains, and chances are I might freeze to death, or I might not. I'm building suspense. I only needed about 100 quartz, and it won't take long to get. And after gliding down from the summit, I diligently farmed the quartz I needed under the watchful supervision of Tenchi. Although he can mine, it would be nice if he lent a hand, but wishful thinking, I suppose. Anyway, I got what I needed, and went back to base. After getting the quartz mine built, I stood around and did a bit of supervising of my own. Mostly because it's like 3 a.m. and I'm tired and I can't really think of what to do next. And towards the end of the day, I heard the chime of a lucky pal, and that pal was a Chillette. It's a shame because under any normal circumstances, I would have tried to catch it. This hurts me more than it hurts you watching this. And after that, I decided to go out and get more Catress hair to fix my hat. You've probably noticed that I've had the broken armor notification through half of this video, and I'll have you know that I am not compelled by compulsiveness to fix stuff right away. Half the time I don't even notice the red box because I'm colorblind. Anyway, I went off to fight Catress. I repaired all of my stuff and went to bed. Aha, just kidding, the sun actually rose into day 38. Salads just weren't doing it for me anymore, and now was a great time to plant potatoes. I've never even used them before, so I don't really know what they can be made into, but hey, potatoes are awesome, and they are great baked and mashed and all of that, so yeah, they're pretty goated to me. It was time to up my food productions because frying oh my god, I don't even know what I write sometimes. It was time to up my food productions because frying salads in a soup pot was just silly when you think about it. So I have built this huge upgrade, the electric stove, and with it, I would have access to better recipes. Honestly, I'm tempted to build a full-blown kitchen and with cabinets and countertops. I think I will. Who's gonna stop me? You? Probably not. And because I'm washed and down the drain, I embraced the middle-aged woman within and made a sign that really accented the new kitchen. I would make a Bob Vila's home again joke, but I'm sure most of you watching might not even know what that is. Let's just say, in the early 90s, daytime television was something else. Oh yeah, I would have plenty of time to think about Bob Vila's home again while I crafted all these circuit boards. I was rated by Syndicate Elites, and yep, they didn't stand a chance. Not so elite now, are they? I don't think so. I was nearing the zenith of all of my hard work from days prior. I was very close to crafting the refined metal armor and advanced weapons, then onwards to PAL metal armor. Saya and Celine were in my sights, and I felt confident I could take them both on. I also wanted to upgrade my PAL box, and my PAL box wanted me to build a weapons assembly line, so I did. However, my metal productions were running painfully slow, and it was taking a long time to farm up metal. So what I did was broke down my other assembly line, and hey, it worked out in the end. I used the metal from that to cheese this requirement, so with that, I upgraded my PAL box. My PAL box then wanted me to build 2 large PAL beds, but I was out of wool. But I am stupid rich in this game, so I just bought what I needed from one of my in-house merchants. I think over 1,000 should do. Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. If I could, I would sleep on the pile of all my gold. After crafting a healthy amount of cloth, I made 2 large PAL beds. One was mostly for me, because, if I'm being real, these look a lot more comfortable than the actual beds in the game for humans. I was 10 days out from fighting Saya and Celine, and I'm going to be honest, I was a bit nervous. While my base has expanded in size, I was still very undergeared. So I had to kick things into overdrive. My plan was to capture more Brotherhood of the Pyre so I can smelt more metal, and get a few more black market merchants and dogcoin merchants to help with the transporting situation. But the silver lining is, in 40 days, I have doubled my workforce, expanded my living quarters, and solved an almost irredeemable famine, and made the working conditions of my village better. And you know what that means, my villagers won't go insane as fast. What did it cost? My own sanity. In real life, of course. You understand the sacrifices I make? Yes, my own mental sanity was the price I paid. I have a lot to get done, so let's get it done. I found a group of the Brotherhood just chilling, and yes, you already know this joke. I've used this joke in almost every video. They're just chilling. I don't like it. Let's just move on. Anyway, I lost one of them due to Zoe's bloodlust, but I managed to capture the majority of them, and I think this is good enough for now. After I was finished at Mount Obsidian, I headed right for the Desolate Church and caught a coin merchant surprisingly easy. Usually they put up a bit more of a fight than this, but hey, I'm not complaining. Now that I have a superb workforce, I needed to make more refining forges, and I needed to make more cement. Oh, it's a never-ending cycle. What have I gotten myself into? I feel like Sisyphus rolling a boulder up a hill only for it to roll back down the hill at the end of the day. Day 42 is missing. I don't know where it is. I'm too scared to ask at this point, but it did happen. But I do have the footage for day 43, so let's go. A few days ago, when I was building the upper parts of my castle, I made a secret room that I didn't know what I wanted to do with at the time, but now I decided to make it another living quarters, this time with upgraded beds. Do I need such luxurious sleeping accommodations? No, I'm doing this because I can. This is a flex. I needed a lot more PAL oils to make polymer, so I fought the Mamarest world boss, since it would drop a lot. I think at some point they might have nerfed the damage output of humans because I swore Tenchi did a lot more damage than this. Anyway, I went home and started crafting polymer to make more circuit boards. I wanted to build the alpha wave generator so I wouldn't have to deal with any insubordination again. Is this ethically and morally okay to do? No, probably not. But I am chasing the bag here, and I am willing to forego my humanity to make some stacks. As the sun went down, I made the alpha wave generator, and I put it high up on my clock tower that I made oh so long ago. At this point, it was just a waiting game. I needed refined ingots, and it was out of my hands now. It was up to my villagers to see me through. Day 46. Not a whole lot going on here, just making polymer. Not the most exciting thing to watch, I'm sure. Trust me, I do feel the walls closing in. I got 4 days to get a full set of armor and better weapons, and if I'm being real with y'all, I think I'm pretty cooked. I had a lot of dog coins lying around, so I used them to buy a speed elixir, and honestly, the only thing holding me back at this point were circuit boards, and in turn, I needed to help farm quartz, so this seemed like the good choice to make. I could go out and get them, but I'm kind of comfy here at base and I don't really like the mountains too much. I hope you understand. I finally had enough materials to craft the production assembly line 2, and I finally got over this major hurdle of this entire 100 days. I was done. It was over. With this, I could craft anything I could ever need now. So the first thing I made was a hyper shield. It's the best I could make at this moment with all the materials I had on hand, and I still really needed coal for refined metal ingots, so I just farmed for the rest of the night and went AFK. The next day, I made myself a new grappling gun to get around a lot easier. If I went to Faybreak later, I'd need all the mobility I can get. I got myself a set of cold-resistant refined metal armor made. It would give me a slightly better chance at fighting Seiya and Celine. I fought Victor in a set of leather armor, so this is a luxury, honestly, and to be honest, I know I wasn't ready, but day 50 is fast approaching whether I like it or not. I wanted to upgrade my glider as well, and to make the best one I could, I needed a lot of carbon fiber. Of course, I needed refined ingots as well for this, because why wouldn't I? The deadline is fast approaching. Do I even stand a chance? The next day I made my glider, and honestly, as I'm rewatching the footage, I should have just made a helmet, but oh well. I also eventually got a refined metal helmet crafted, and that's about as good as it's going to get for now, I think. My plan for the rest of the day is to farm coin merchants for gold so I can buy a lot of bullets for my legendary handgun, and my entire team is leveled up past 60 with my hardest hitter still being Tenchi. I spent the better half of the day farming coins, and even Zoe caught some strays. Tenchi has the lightning bolt ability, and to me it's kind of funny she gets taken out by the very element she represents, kind of. But wait, Axel and Orsurk use electricity too. I don't know anymore. I just don't ask questions. It's Palworld, the lore is made up, and it really doesn't matter. With all the gold that I had farmed up from the night before, I had enough to walk away with 2,000 bullets. I hope this is enough. And I also had enough refined metal to finally make myself a pick. Hey, I gotta spoil myself sometimes, you know? Tomorrow, I would fight Seiya and Celine, and this is either going to be a wash, or I'm going to clutch a W. They're not very hard per se, but they have a lot of HP to whittle through. Well, tell a lie, last time I didn't even really try to fight them. I just kind of went in, threw myself at her, and hey, can you really blame me though? She's a top tier waifu. She likes sake. I really love sake. It's like we're made for each other. I can say this because not many people make it this far in my videos anyway. I can say what I want, and only a small handful of people will ever hear me say this. Day 50 is finally here. I made a few omelets and steeled myself for the fight ahead. If I could defeat Seiya and Celine, I would defeat Viking Dad and Faybreak. Here goes nothing. I was doing so amazing in this fight, but Celine did that cheap moonbeam move. And what am I even supposed to do? Like, come on. Oh well, I know I can do this. Once again, the moonbeam saves her from my wrath. I don't know where day 51 is. I think I spent it fighting Seiya and Celine, so we're just gonna go into day 52. So yeah, day 52. This boss is so cheap. She shot an attack, and she wasn't even facing me, and I still died. This is probably one of the most frustrating endeavors I've dealt with in this game. The DPS is there, but my skills cannot outclass Palworld jank. So after fighting her so much, I've learned a few things from this fight. You absolutely need to be running before she attacks, so that's something. And the other thing that I've learned is cycling through humans is the optimal play. So with that being said, what I need to do is go on a taming spree and make my entire team even stronger if I hope to stand a chance. I managed to deal at least 165,000 damage in 9 minutes, so this is very doable, but I have a long grind ahead of me. I got to work catching humans. My plan was to condense about 800 of them. Yes, 800. I was going to need a lot of spheres and time. Would I be able to complete this monstrous task? Who knows? I spent all day today raiding a syndicate camp and caught a lot of humans. I didn't even really count. I was getting bored of breaking many ethical codes of conduct and needed to head back home to check on my workforce. They have a tendency to dissolve into chaos if I'm not around to keep an eye on things. And after returning home to get some food and to do some chores, I took count of how many humans I had saved up. I needed a lot more. I'm too lazy to actually do the math, but 26 isn't 116. And you may have noticed noticed the daydream in the corner. I caught it by mistake in my last video and I never got rid of it. It shall remain there as a monument of my failures. I went to catch this human and caught an ecthier deer instead. Well, the entire video is scrapped, ruined, down the drain. Just throw it away. Unusable. Challenge failed. I have an idea. I did what I had to do. Sometimes the toughest decisions require the toughest of wills. Anyway, I condensed the humans that I had caught already and put them into Zoe. And already she has around 800 attack. Is this a sleeper build human? That's crazy. I'm excited to see what a fully powered Zoe is capable of. I should feed her some pal fruits too. Saya and Selene are weak to dragon attacks after all. To finish off the day, I upgraded both Tenchi and Zoe, and holy moly, she's already at over 1000 attack, and she's not even maxed out yet. Oh, this is going to be good. I spent the entire day farming Syndicate on an oil derrick, and I caught the Crusher at the end because I thought he was neat. I'm going to call him Cookie, because why not? Anyway, I caught nearly all of the Syndicate that were present. Day 58, not a lot happened. I went back to base, emptied my inventory, and helped out with base-related maintenance. That's all it could do, really. I needed circuit boards to make spheres to catch more humans. What are the circuit boards for? Well, I needed to build a sphere assembly line. And if I can get a sphere assembly line built, I'll be laughing. I am a bit stressed. This entire thing isn't exactly going how I planned, I'll admit. I thought by now, Saya and Selene would be a far-off memory, and I would be on my way over to Faybreak, but no, it's not happening. I'm starting to wonder if this challenge is even really possible at this point. Was my first video a fluke? I can't say for sure. I can't even remember how I clutched a victory against Victor, really. All I can do is just move forward. You miss all the shots you don't take. I will try to fight Saya and Selene again, but first, I need to catch more humans. I also built a Japanese-style hot spring finally, too, by the way. As you can see, I'm taking a moment to reflect while sitting in the warm waters. On day 61, I discovered a far cheaper and far easier method of farming all of the pal spheres I would ever need, while making some decent coin as well. All you need to do is go to the desolate church, cause a ruckus, and then bring the ruckus. You can farm out a lot of spheres and coins. Think of this as one endless wave mode of sorts. Either way, cha-ching, baby! Now all I need to do is go out and catch humans and try again. I made my way back to the oil rig, and I spotted an old man, and decided to add him to my collection. Of course, I'm not as cruel as I make myself out to be in these videos, so he will be spared his fate of being condensed into a protein shake. And then I spent the rest of the day catching all of the humans on the oil rig again. As I was mindlessly throwing pal spheres around, I was imagining that this grim tale would be put up on Reddit in some kind of true scary stories thing, you know? The ones that are way too detailed and elaborate to sound actually real. Let me give you an example. I was a pal researcher working across the sea from an oil rig on the Galapagos Islands. In the middle of the water there was a large syndicate oil rig. From the shore, I could vaguely make out the shapes of people, so I know it was populated and running. It had been this way for years. Seemingly, out of nowhere, everyone on the oil rig vanished without a trace. They suddenly ceased all productions, as if overnight they all vanished from the face of the earth. To this day, I still get chills down my spine thinking about it. Blah blah blah, you know, something to that effect. I'm not a writer, and sometimes my jokes don't always land, but I hope I explained this well enough to where you can understand what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I gotta throw in a gray filter too and some creepy background music, preferably copyright free. Thanks. After I caught all the humans on the oil rig, I teleported back home, and that was it. That's all I had written down. After a few days of capturing the poor souls on that oil rig, I was able to use them to upgrade Zoe to her maximum base level, and I was missing some pal souls, or else I could have made her even stronger. I hope all this extra effort was worth it, because I'm going back in to fight Sakurajima's tower boss, and I think I'm doing pretty well actually, all things considering. But I remembered that in my last humans video, I made a lot of shock grenades to stun Victor while Tenchi wailed on him, So I think I'll try that again. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I thought by now I would have already bodied Saya and Celine, and that's just not happening. So I'm at a loss of what to do. At least I can make PAL metal ingots now. I don't know what I'll do with them. I'll find something, I'm sure. Maybe a weapon, maybe armor, who knows. So the method that has worked best so far is using electric grenades on her, so I think I just might do that. As much as I don't like to AFK farm, today might be a day of AFK farming all the stone I can muster. I ended up farming about 2,000 stones. I need coins for PAL oil to make a lot of french fries because I'm having a surplus of potatoes, and you all know what comes next. I'm just gonna... No way, I'm actually running out of power. Oh no. Hang on, I need to check my hamster wheels. Nah, that's crazy. I'm actually out of power. Y'all better run faster. I got a lot of grenades to make in the next few days. Honestly, if I can't defeat Saya and Celine, I'm just gonna spend the rest of the video building. I will finish out 100 days in this humans playthrough. And trust me, it's a lot more difficult than I let on. There, I built 5 more of these things. This might tank the mental well-being of my entire base. This is awful. I'm so tempted to go tame an Azurmane and just building a power generator. I'm not even kidding. This is horrible. But then it wouldn't be 100 days humans only, right? Look at this. I have 9 human power generators going at once, and I still have no electricity. Someone up there is already throwing a fit and refusing to work. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, that's too bad. You got french fries to make. I spent 100 days in Palworld using only humans, and I AFK'd most of the time, or spent the time building my base. Dang, no one's making these potatoes. I'll just do it myself. Don't worry, guys. Do everything around here. Ah, yes. What a delicious meal of french fries. What's in there? It looks like carrots, eggs, a chicken leg, 118 french fries. It's supposed to help slow down sanity drain. We shall see. Because it's like every other day there's a mental breakdown here. We're going to attack this predator splatterino. Let's go. Look at that. And a level up. I am almost level capped. And I still can't beat this tower boss. I'm going insane, everyone. I am literally going insane trying to do this challenge. I told y'all, playing 100 days with just humans isn't... It's not fun. Well, it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean? I can make 217 electric grenades. I hope it's enough. Because if it's not enough, I'm gonna go insane. I just hope my power at least lasts through the night for this. I'm going to go in there, eat a few eggs, and just spam every single grenade in my inventory, and I hope it's enough. There we go. Zoe has handiwork 3, so this will be good. I hope this is enough, because if it's not, I'm at a loss. I have 151 grenades to make, and I ran out of power. I have every single human powered electrical generator going, and I have 3 people manning the assembly line. There's really nothing I can do at this point but just wait. Might have to dust off the old weapons workbench for this. I can't wait around all day. 3 people at once making grenades the old-fashioned way. I might just stand a chance, honestly. We'll just have to see tomorrow. Alright, here we go. We've all eaten eggs. Grenades at the ready. Oh, stunned her just in time. Well, there goes Shinji, unfortunately, and I am more than likely next. Yep, I called it. Yeah, here she goes. She's gonna start using wall hacks again. This happens every time. Alright, here we go. No. And unfortunately, I couldn't clutch out another W. Alright, my Glahm fam. I know when I've been beat. I just cannot beat her in my current state. I tried to beat her by day 50. It is stretched beyond into day 77. No, I cannot beat Saya and Celine with just humans. If I can craft some technologically advanced gear, there might be some hope. Alright, I'm gonna make a few more grenades, And we're going to try this one more time. If this doesn't work, I'm just going over to Fabric. It's been a while since I checked any of the pal fruit trees for any dragon fruits. I could give one to Zoe. All right, what do we got? Multi-cutter, iceberg, sand twister. Not looking good. On to the next one. All right, here we go. Second fruit tree, curtain splat. That one's not bad, actually. Apocalypse. Now that's what I'm talking about, baby. Definitely giving Apocalypse to Zoe. Now the question is, will Apocalypse actually do damage? Because Saline is a dark normal type? I don't know. Just pretty much throwing anything at the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm recording all of this the 11th hour, by the way. I'm flying by the seat of my clown pants with this video. One last chance to fight Saya and Celine. If I don't beat them, oh well. I'm just going to migrate over to Fabric and get a base established over there for the next video. Say what? 300 days humans? Yes, sir. I honestly think the biggest issue I'm having right now is just gear. That's it, really. It's taken me all day to run across Sakurajima. Oh, I'm in the PAL graveyard. How scary. Hello, Bushi. He just did... Okay. See you later, then. Oh, wait. Nope, that was a different one. I thought it was the same one. That would have been so funny. He's like, hey, wait a minute. So the net. Just turns around, just cuts me in half. Oh boy, dragon fruit. Beam slicer. Oh, praise the heavens. Zoe has beam slicer and Apocalypse with her gun. Please. Please let this be enough. I got Thea and Celine down to 30,000 health in one of my fights. It was the lowest I ever got her. I'm running as fast as my little legs can carry me. Please bear with me. Really? Right as I'm about ready to start the fight. Oh good, they seem distracted. I'm not going to bother with this. Yes, yes, attack my neighbors, my pretties. Let them know. Oh, here goes nothing. One final showdown. Oh gosh. Yes, yes. 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 Uh-oh. No, what? Okay, okay. That doesn't count. We're gonna try again. That was stupid. Very stupid. See, the problem with using shock grenades is that it blinds you. So, at least it does to me. I can't really tell what's going on when I start throwing these things. Really? What? How? This game is out to get me. It really does not want me to complete this challenge. Look at this. This is ridiculous. You see, a lot of things in this game will drive people insane. This is one of them. It's that Palworld jank I keep talking about. So now I have to sit here and wait for my health to regenerate before I can go into the tower. I'm so tired, please. Going insane. Literally going insane. I don't have refined metal to repair my armor. I'm just gonna go to bed. Please don't let me suffer anymore. I just want this to be done with. I have 92 shock grenades. That's right. You attack Tenchi. You just ignore me. Oh my gosh. That was lucky. Yeah, they really do not want Saya and Celine to lose, do they? Yes, I'm going to complain about this the entire time. Akira's already dead? No! No! Please. How is Zoe almost dead? How? I can't. I just can't. Alright, we're just gonna go over to Fabric. I've had enough of this. Well, if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. If you want to leave, I can't blame you. Your boy could not cop a W. I'm so sorry. So yeah, just gonna run over to Fabric. It's gonna be the rest of the video. My next plan is I'm going to go to Fabric, establish a foothold, and build a base, and just start farming Hexalite. Surprisingly, a lot of my audience are grown adult people. I'm not sure why. Hello. Do you remember in Soul Calibur 3, a character named Rock? He was a guy who was like a really buff British dude who lived out in the wild, and he swam across the ocean. I don't remember exactly what for, but this kind of reminds me of that. Wait a minute, isn't that Fabric over there? Where am I going? I was swimming in the wrong direction. I may have overestimated the actual distance of Fabric because my stamina is starting to get a little low for my liking, but I do have around 6,000 health, so I can tank a little bit of damage before I, you know, sink into the drink, as it were. Gulp. Now I'm starting to worry. The island doesn't look any closer. Oh, well, at least it was nice enough to put my bags back on the shore. You know what? It may not get a lot of views, but I think in my next Palworld video, I'm just going to be a rancher. I'm just going to like catch chickens and horses and just like plant crops and just be a farmer for 100 days. That actually sounds really fun to me. I might actually try that. You know, just like get a bunch of livestock, just have a few dogs, build a nice barn, outsource produce. Yeah. That sounds chill. I might do that. If I can just get to that fast travel beacon. We're in. Alright, we're sending it. Full send. I don't care. Quick. Alright, we made it. We're good. Excellent. I can make a PAL box once I get to my base location, and then we can start moving. You know, I'd say the best part about using humans on Fabric is that I don't gotta deal with the towers either. So basically, if you've seen one of my other Palworld videos, there's a place where you can have an infinite hexalite farm. That's where I'm going. And since Fabric is a lot bigger than Sakurajima, it's probably going to take me a good portion of the rest of this video just to run there. Look at that. I've been here for half the day, and this is as far as I've gotten. I have to go all the way to the other side of the island. Boy, howdy. My legs are getting a workout. Driving my Subarus. My Chevrolets. Oh, another two fast travel beacons. This is good. If I meet with an untimely demise, I can just teleport back. This is the fast travel down there? Yes, sir. It absolutely is. Well, looks like I got a big climb ahead of me. By the looks of things, I think I'm in the middle of Fabric now. So, yeah. Hopefully not much further. You know, I'm going to be honest once again. It feels like a lot of Palworld kind of got away from me a little bit. You know, I stopped playing for a few months and all these updates came out and I don't know where to go or what to do anymore. It's dangerous, but I think the quickest path would just be to cut through the middle here. You know, it's been a while since I actually took in the majesty of Fabric. You know, this walk might be good. Might do some good, you know. Just got to remember the floating rock. If I remember correctly, there is a Gildane or a Celestia up here. Something. I'm going to have to be mindful of it. What do you think, Tenchi? Can we take it on? He says no. Probably a good call. Maybe we should probably get to the location first before we try anything a little too crazy. Oh, he's attacking the Fabric warriors. Good job. Just gonna throw another point into work speed. Why not? I think that might be it over there. Yeah, there's like a blue zone right next to it. So I gotta go from up here to over there. So once we find the blue zone, I'll know I'm in the right spot. I'm going to need wood and stone to make a PAL box. So I'm going to start mining that as we're running, just in case. There we go. We're just doing a little diagonal shimmy up into this safe ledge here. Ah, the blue zone. New home is right up there. Or was it down here? I don't remember. Alright, I made it. Only problem is It's on top of this cliff. Oh, look, a switchback. So I had to double back to go up the switchback to get to the new base location, because this entire time has felt like great procrastination. It's a sensation sweeping the nation. Finally, we're almost there. It's right over there. The land of milk and honey. The land of Goshen. Right at the end of this path lies salvation. Here it is. At last. You know, I gotta say, this is a really nice quality of life change they've done with this PAL box, or the building system in general, actually. Thank you, Zoe. And there it is. We made it. There's only 7 days left in this playthrough, but we're doing a fresh start. Also, a big shout out to you all for reminding me this exists. Because, yeah. I had no idea it existed in my older playthroughs. I would assume I'm going to have to build another one on Fabric as well. Doesn't have to look absolutely perfect, but I figured something level would be a lot nicer. This guild chest is fantastic. Alright, I want electricity as soon as we get over there, so I'm also moving my hamster wheels. One thing I'm definitely going to do on the Fabric base is make it a bit more human friendly, because I've noticed a lot of them get caught on everything. I don't want to tear this base down, but I am removing a lot of the interior structures. You know, I've been watching a lot of Warhammer 40k videos. I might make a hive city or whatever they are. You know, just like have the lower rungs just be awful industrious stuff and just have the top like a penthouse for myself. Yeah, I'm a good pal dad. Yep, definitely going to be doing things a lot different on Fabric next playthrough, I think. Look at that. Nature is returning. Nature is healing. I took so much from this land. It's good to finally just give it all back. The guild chest has so much space. It's crazy. I honestly can't believe I was sleeping on it this long. Here we are, the morning of day 87, and I have no idea the layout I want to build for this base. Isn't that awesome? I think I'm just going to start building, just see what happens. I was kind of serious about building a hive city, so I might try that. This one is made of metal and wires, and as his mind concluded. But this one is made up of faith, and is the more deluded. This one's great journey, and this one's blah 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 are the same. I should really play Halo again. You know, I'm really pleased. Someone in my last video made a comment on Haru's name. They actually understood where he's from. I am Haru of the Takagura Dojo. I like that movie. Beverly Hills Ninja, by the way, for those of you who don't know. For those of you who are like, what is Glahm talking about all the time? I don't know Japanese, but I am pretty fluent in Japanese. My new base construction continued well into the morning of day 89. This is not recorded off of a script. This is me just speaking into the microphone because I don't know what else to say. But Glahm, I can hear you say, are you just padding out the rest of the video to reach 100 days? Yes. Yes, I am. Unabashedly so. Well, you know, the 100 days in this video, fighting Saya and Celine and then eventually the Fabric boss, was kind of a wash. But might as well just end it on something light and fun, something I enjoy. Just enjoy building. I'm a builder at heart. Ah! Oh, Haru scared me. No way. No way. I can't believe that just happened. No, that's crazy. I actually legitimately, my fight or flight senses activated when he snuck up on me. That's crazy. Never thought I'd get jump scared as an adult man in Palworld of all things. No work suitability with mining. Nah, hold up. Okay, so I can mine it, but they can't. Well, so much for a passive hexalite farm. That's interesting to find out. By the way, I am recording this like the day of, so if it seems like the last portion of this video is rushed, it absolutely was. You know, I was kind of serious about having my penthouse being up top. I think this might be it. Well, my glass house is finished. Look at this. This window is just so unnecessary. This place, I swear, at this height, yeah, you cook, you know? Turn into a little hot dog, get burnt to a crisp. Well, it's not exactly a Warhammer hive city because those stretch up for miles and miles, but, you know, the concept is there, I think. All right, I have a 1-to-1 ratio of tomatoes and lettuce. So hopefully I don't have a surplus of lettuce again this time, because that was driving me crazy. I need to remake all the beds I destroyed. There, that should be enough beds for all of the humans that lived at the base. It's day 94. I also need to make sure to grab my alpha wave generator because this thing was a pain to build and I am not leaving it here. I see a lot of idle hands just standing around. Let's put a stop to that, shall we? Why not? They deserve something nice too. I think I'll put the baths up here. Well, so far so good. No mental breakdowns yet. You know what the crazy part is? This entire, like, 10 days is taking 3 hours to film, but you guys are gonna go see it in, like, a minute. Well, we're gonna need a place to cook all this food. I think this will be the designated kitchen for now, at least. That's right, I need to go back to Sakurajima and get my electrical oven. Sorry, Bob Vila. It's entertaining to me that even when you give humans rudimentary tasks, they all freak out. They don't like it. They throw a fit. It makes you really wonder, are we exploiting pals to make work easier for us? Creatures that just live with the land and nature. Wild and free. Look at this, my Glahm fam, ain't it something? Not the prettiest base I've ever built, but gosh darn it, I am taking some pride in my work. I did this. While I wasn't able to defeat Saya and Celine, I gained something more. I gained a community in the game, kind of, you know? Albeit the humans are kind of stupid, but yeah, I gained something, I feel. I don't know what it is. I had a really nice speech planned in my head, but now that I'm on the spot, I can't really think of it. Oops. Anyway, see you on day 97. I've been having power issues, so this accumulator should help. Bit late in the playthrough, but hey, you know, if we do another one of these videos, it'll be good. Oh no, the injuries. They're starting. Not the injuries. Come on, guys. I need to go to Sakurajima and get the medicine rack. There we go. Medicine, electricity, food, beds. Pretty much everything a kingdom needs. What more do these people want? Making bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes, bacon pancake. Alright, I made 121 French fries. This will stem the tide, hopefully. Well, here we are. Day 100. Long awaited, long anticipated. This playthrough proved to be quite challenging for me. Mostly because I wanted to defeat Saya and Celine so bad, I let it consume me. And I didn't take the time to appreciate the smaller things in this playthrough, like all the humans I have gathered, all the wealth I have amassed. And it makes me wonder, what if our real friends are the humans we made along the way? Or something like that. I don't know, whatever. The outro. Bye. Next video.